My brother is getting married to my ex and invited me to the wedding. My younger brother Alex, who I've looked after since our parents passed away when he was just 10, is getting married. He's invited me to his wedding. I've been like a father to him, taking care of everything since I was 15. I put my own life on hold to support him. Alex means the world to me, and maybe I spoiled him a bit. I didn't date much because I was focused on being there for him. That is, until I met Rachel nearly a decade ago. We were together for 2 years, and everything seemed perfect. Even Alex liked her. But one day, I overheard a conversation Rachel had with her friend. It crushed me to hear that Rachel was having an affair with Alex and thought he was better in bed than I was. It was painful, but I acted like I didn't hear anything and went inside the house. After confronting Alex about his affair with Rachel, I experienced a whirlwind of emotions. It was like a storm brewing inside me, with anger, betrayal, and hurt swirling around. Alex initially denied everything, but I could see the guilt written all over his face. With persistent questioning, he eventually admitted to the truth. Hearing him confirm the affair felt like a punch to the gut. I felt a mix of disbelief, sadness, and rage. How could my own brother betray me like this? He was supposed to be the person I could always rely on, but now he had shattered my trust in the worst possible way. Alex's confession left me feeling shattered and lost. The brother I once cherished and looked up to was now a stranger to me. I couldn't bear to even look at him, knowing what he had done behind my back. I told him he was dead to me, and with a heavy heart, I walked away, leaving behind the shattered remnants of our bond. As for Rachel, the woman I once loved and trusted, she was now nothing more than a painful reminder of betrayal. I couldn't stand the sight of her, knowing she had been carrying on an affair with my own brother. I kicked her out of my life without a second thought, refusing to let her poison my world any further. Despite my attempts to distance myself from the chaos, Alex's relentless attempts to contact me only added fuel to the fire. His apologies fell on deaf ears as I struggled to come to terms with the magnitude of his betrayal. I couldn't bring myself to forgive him, not after what he had done to me. In an attempt to sever ties with Alex once and for all, I made the difficult decision to cut off the trust fund I had set up for him. It was a symbolic gesture, a way of signaling that he was no longer considered family in my eyes. It wasn't an easy choice, but I knew it was necessary for my own sanity and well-being. The aftermath of the betrayal plunged me into a deep depression, like a dark cloud hanging over me. I withdrew from the world, seeking solace and solitude as I grappled with the pain and heartache. Each day felt like an uphill battle, as I struggled to come to terms with the harsh reality of what had transpired. Despite the darkness that enveloped me, I held on to a glimmer of hope for the future. I knew that with time, I would find the strength to pick up the pieces of my shattered heart and move forward. Though the road ahead would be long and difficult, I was determined to reclaim my life and rebuild what had been broken. The nightmares haunted me, replaying scenes of my brother and Rachel laughing at my inadequacies. They mocked me, saying I wasn't good enough, that if I had been better, Rachel wouldn't have left me. The torment became unbearable, driving me to the edge of despair. One dark day, I found myself standing on the train tracks, ready to end it all. Thankfully, a friend intervened just in time, pulling me back from the brink. During the darkest days of my life, my few close friends became my lifeline. They supported me through the pain and helped me find the strength to keep going. For a whole year, I leaned on them for support as I sought solace in therapy and group sessions. The trauma left me scarred, particularly in matters of intimacy. I was too afraid to open up to anyone romantically, fearing another heartbreak. Despite my fears, a friend urged me to dip my toes back into the dating pool. Reluctantly, I tried a one-night stand, but it only reinforced my anxieties. Therapy became my sanctuary, providing me with the tools to navigate the complexities of my emotions. As time passed, I found myself slowly rebuilding my life. I focused on forging new connections and exploring new hobbies. I embraced a newfound sense of independence, determined to live life on my own terms. And amidst the darkness, a ray of light appeared in the form of Sarah, a compassionate and understanding partner. Sarah stood by me, accepting me for who I am, flaws and all. She listened to my insecurities and supported me through my struggles. Together, we embarked on a journey of love and growth, culminating in our engagement and the anticipation of welcoming a child into our lives. With Sarah by my side, I found hope and happiness once again. She showed me what true maturity and patience look like, helping me to regain trust in relationships. Just a couple of days ago, I received an unexpected invitation in the mail, a wedding invitation. To my surprise, it was from my brother, inviting me to his wedding with none other than Rachel. Seeing their names together used to fill me with pain and sadness, but now I feel strangely numb. If this had happened 8 years ago, I probably would have been devastated. The thought of my brother marrying the woman who caused me so much hurt still stings, but my fiancé suggests that we decline the invitation and move on. To the person sharing their empathy and support, thank you. Your words mean a lot to me in this difficult time. It's hard to fathom the heartlessness of those who have caused me such pain. I've harbored thoughts of revenge, wishing for their suffering in return. When our parents passed away, they entrusted me with the responsibility of caring for my brother. We promised to support each other as adults, but he betrayed that trust. It's not just Rachel's betrayal that hurts, it's the betrayal from my own flesh and blood. You fulfilled your duties as a brother, so you don't owe them anything. Your brother, however, failed to be there for you when you needed him most. Perhaps one day he'll realize the gravity of his actions and regret his choices. But until then, you deserve to focus on living a fulfilling life without them. I'm deeply sorry for the pain they've caused you, especially your own brother. It's outrageous that they had the audacity to send you an invitation. Your fiancé is right. Ignore it like it never arrived. You're better off without your brother in your life. It's hard to understand what he was thinking by sending the invite. Perhaps he hoped it would help mend things between you two. But forgiveness is a process and he certainly didn't deserve you. I'm glad to hear that you found happiness with your fiancé and your upcoming child. Congratulations on that. Keep living your life without your brother. He may never apologize, especially now that he's marrying your cheating ex. He'll have to live with the consequences of his actions. As for your ex, well, I hope she gets what's coming to her. Toss that invitation aside and move forward without them. Now on to the update. Hey everyone, I've been meaning to give you an update. I know how much Reddit loves updates, but I held off because my wife and I welcomed a baby girl into the world. When I first posted this, my wife, who is now my wife, was already 8.5 months pregnant. We had an early delivery, and our little bundle of joy, Lily, has brought so much happiness into our lives. She's absolutely adorable. Her eyes resemble mine, and it's amazing to see how precious she is. I can't help but hold her a lot, which annoys my wife because she thinks I might cuddle her too tightly. By the way, my fiancé and I got married quickly in a courthouse. We didn't want a big wedding anyway. Everything's going well. Some of you wondered how my brother found my address. Well, he didn't. He only had my work email. He might know where I work, so he tracked down my email and sent an invitation a few days ago. I also received another email from him because I forgot to block him. I usually don't check my work email because most of it is junk. In his long email, he acknowledged that he knows I won't attend his wedding, but still wanted me there. He apologized for what he did, admitting he'll never forgive himself for hurting me. He knew sleeping with Rachel was wrong, but did it anyway. He confessed he had been jealous of me growing up, feeling overshadowed by my caretaking role. When Rachel approached him, he felt important. He regrets it all and tried to reach out after I cut him off, but my friends refused to disclose my location. He pleaded with them. His multiple sclerosis had been acting up for a while, and he was desperate to locate me. His situation hit rock bottom when a friend informed him about my suicide attempt. Even his friends were harsh on him after what he did. They saw me as a big brother too, so they all refused to attend his wedding with Rachel. He and Millicent reconciled 2 years ago. By then, Rachel was a single mom feeling remorseful for her actions, especially after being cheated on and abandoned by the father of her child. She also wanted to meet me and apologize. From there, they reignited their relationship. However, he ultimately called off the wedding and parted ways with Rachel. Now he wants me to be there for his big day. Despite knowing I disowned him, he's willing to do anything to reconcile, even if it takes a lifetime. There were more attempts at persuasion in his email, but I ignored them and deleted it. My therapist says forgiveness isn't something that can be forced. It comes from within when we genuinely believe the person is sorry for their actions, not just their words. Honestly, I don't want to forgive him. I know it might seem petty and cruel, but I'm content with my life as it is. Including him in my life would bring stress. My wife advised me to let it go, insisting my brother bears no guilt. She believes that forgiving him would only lead him back to Rachel. He needs to take responsibility for his own life now. I've been looking after him for long enough. It's time for him to grow up. Edit. Some have asked about my brother's situation. Let me clarify. I've been out of touch with his life. I moved away and changed jobs, keeping my distance for the past 10 years. He must have found my work email during that time. I've essentially treated him as if he didn't exist alongside therapy. Regarding his breakup with Rachel, I'm not entirely sure what happened. Based on his email, it seems they split after a few years of dating. His friends weren't supportive of their relationship and even canceled the wedding because of Rachel. My brother expressed to me that he doesn't want to marry unless I'm there to support him. But it's not necessarily about Rachel. She might have returned, although I'm unsure of her motives. Perhaps she expected me to forgive and forget easily. However, she knows me better than that, and not one to let go of grudges easily. It surprised me to learn how much influence I had on his friends, who used to spend time with us. Even though they were younger, they treated me like a brother. After I cut off contact with my brother, 2 of his friends who lacked positive male role models reached out to apologize. I haven't kept in touch with them. Your brother, Opie, is facing the consequences of his actions harshly, which is fair because every choice has a price. He should have realized this when he was secretly meeting your ex. I don't blame you for anything. Rachel got what she deserved. Her ex cheating on her is karma for sleeping with your brother. You've done a lot for him, and if he truly regrets his actions, he'll find his own way without needing your help. I'm amazed he had the nerve to invite you to his wedding with his now ex, knowing how much they both hurt you. You made the right choice not to go. Forgiveness can't be rushed. When you're ready, you'll forgive him. If not, that's okay too. I don't judge you for holding on to your anger. If he truly regretted his actions, he wouldn't have chosen to marry Rachel, the woman who caused me so much pain along with my brother. What did he expect? That I'd forget all the suffering they caused me. Forgiveness doesn't always set you free. Sometimes it's just another trap. Through the years, I've learned that forgiveness can be used by cowards to escape consequences without facing accountability for their actions. They think that by forgiving someone, they can rid themselves of the guilt they feel for their actions. But true forgiveness can't be forced. It must be earned through genuine remorse and efforts to make amends. As for my brother, my wife believes I should just forget about it because she doesn't see him as guilty at all. However, I'm skeptical that he is truly changed, especially considering his past actions. My brother's decision to reconcile with Rachel, despite knowing the pain their affair caused me, only reinforces my doubts about his sincerity. It seems he's more concerned about his own happiness than the hurt he's caused me. And if I were to forgive him, I fear he would revert to his old ways and return to Rachel, disregarding my feelings once again. My wife, on the other hand, is a beacon of maturity and wisdom compared to Rachel's immaturity. While Rachel may be intelligent in some respects, she lacks the depth and sophistication that my wife possesses. People often overlook these qualities in favor of more superficial traits, but I've come to appreciate them more and more over time. As for forgiveness, it's not a simple process of letting go of past grievances. It requires genuine remorse from the offender and a willingness to make things right. My brother's actions have shown me that he's not willing to prioritize my feelings over his own desires, and until that changes, forgiveness will remain elusive. Ultimately, forgiveness is a personal journey, and it's not something that can be rushed or forced. While some may believe in the adage, forgive and forget, I've come to realize that forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes it's about finding peace within oneself and moving forward, even if the offending party remains unchanged. My wife cheated on me, and when I asked her about it, she just laughed. 4 years ago, I made a mistake and cheated on her. I'm 38 and she's 41. I regret it deeply and haven't done anything like that since. We have 2 young kids, and when she found out, she left. It was a tough time for both of us and we were really unhappy. Losing her was incredibly painful for me. After a few months apart, I begged her to come back and we took things slow. We went to therapy and tried to rebuild our life together. Eventually, she moved back, and after a year and things started to feel normal again. Our relationship even became stronger. We were really happy together. I thought our life was perfect. Then, about a week ago, a man came to our door looking for her. He seemed confused and apologized for mixing up the days. He was supposed to pick her and the kids up the next day. She talked to him for a few minutes, and he left. I asked her who he was, and she said he was just a friend. He came to pick her up because I was supposed to be at my parents', but there was a mix-up with the dates. I was shocked, so I asked her if she was sleeping with him. She looked really uncomfortable, and after a moment she said yes. I was utterly speechless. The question seemed to hang in the air for an eternity. Are you seeing someone else? I finally managed to utter. Her response was so matter-of-fact, as if it were a casual conversation about the weather. Yes, she replied, her voice calm and composed. Since when? I asked, my heart sinking with each word. Since we got back together, she admitted, her tone unchanged. She didn't seem bothered by it at all, which made it all the more bewildering. Then came the question that shook me to my core. Why is it okay for you to have cheated, but not for me? She asked, her eyes meeting mine with a sense of challenge. I was taken aback by her audacity. I explained that I hadn't even glanced at another woman since my indiscretion. At first she seemed surprised, but then she let out a laugh that felt like a dagger to my heart. She explained that she had assumed I had been unfaithful, so she felt justified in doing the same. It was like a slap in the face. Despite this revelation, she nonchalantly informed me that she had already made plans with this other man and had cancelled my trip to stay home with her. I was livid, my anger bubbling over until I was practically shouting. In response, she calmly threatened divorce, stating that if I didn't stop yelling, she would leave. It was like a gut punch, leaving me reeling with disbelief and hurt. Now, on to some advice. It pains me to say it, but it seems like the writing is on the wall, my friend. She's emotionally checked out of the relationship and is only sticking around for convenience. While her reaction may seem callous, the damage caused by dishonesty and infidelity can be irreparable. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you can't mend what's been broken. Is this the harsh truth staring us in the face? Her actions speak volumes, indicating that she values her connection with this other man more than her commitment to our relationship. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but sometimes facing reality is the only way to move forward. She's made her choice, and now it's up to you to decide what's best for your own well-being. He only assumed she did. I remember a woman once telling me that when a woman is truly done with a relationship, she's thought long and hard about it and there's no turning back. Once she sees someone in a certain light, there's no going back. I didn't shed any tears. I was ready to file for divorce right then and there. Those tears were already shed and I was fully prepared to move forward. As someone who's been cheated on and tried to make things work, I've harbored resentment from the moment I found out it was over. Not that I didn't give it a real shot, but I never realized just how damaging infidelity could be until it happened to me. While I never cheated, I used to think it was something you could work through. I've seen couples stay together and appear happy after one partner cheats, but it takes effort from both sides. However, that's not the case for every relationship. Sometimes the hurt runs too deep and no amount of love can repair it. The betrayal and disrespect can overshadow any romantic feelings. You may still care, but you've mentally checked out without even realizing it. It's one of those things you come to realize when you're in that situation. Now I've come to understand that there are some things I simply can't forgive. It's not that I don't want to, I just don't have it in me. My ex may have tried to make amends here and there, but it didn't matter. All I could see was red. There was no coming back from this. Every little thing she did that inconvenienced or upset me pushed me closer to the edge. In the end, I agree. Some people, like myself, aren't capable of forgiving and working through that kind of betrayal.